A leading barrister has come forward to say that parties at number 10, quote, almost certainly did not break the law. Stephen Barrett is a barrister at Radcliffe Chambers who read law at Oxford and taught it at Cambridge, and this is what he had to say. The starting point in the COVID rules should be Section 73 of the Public Health Control of Disease Act 1984. Now, this part of the regulations at all times says that it did not apply to Crown land. And Crown land, of course, includes number 10. Well, I'm delighted to say that Stephen Barrett can join us now on the programme. When you put an exemption like that, and clearly it does say that in that Public Health Act, it does sound a bit weaselly, doesn't it? That sort of none of these rules applied anyway, so they can all get away with it.
Well, one of the things I like to do is to leave the politics to everybody else and just do the law. So what you think about any of this is politics and is for you. What I'd say about the Crown exemption is that to me it makes perfect sense, because we've been through, as novel as COVID was to all of us, as a human society, and remember ours is sort of 800 years old of law, basically untouched and evolving little bit at a time. It makes perfect sense to me that in a quarantine, which is what this is, you'd have a basic proposition that the government wouldn't be caught by the quarantine laws. And you'd have a catch-all provision to make sure that the government was never caught by it. And that's for a very simple reason. You need the state to function. You need government to function. What if we got invaded? We can't really have, civil servants running around worrying about whether or not they're breaching technical rules. We need government to function. So that's the Crown exemption point that I've published on. That's my article. And there we are. There's then a second legal test, which is sort of being messed up a little bit, because at the moment the politics of all this, and you've just had a very gifted MP, former MP, on your programme doing the politics, it needs the law to be certain. It desperately wants, and Stephen Pound wrongly used the phrase, and it's quite an extraordinary phrase really, that the Prime Minister has been found guilty by the police. Now that just is not our constitution. We do not have the police finding people guilty. And certainly paying a fixed penalty notice does not mean you have been found guilty of anything. So